Certainly, Matt Gordon is a great quarterback, and he's certainly following the shoes of one of Burlington's finest in Dan Hannafin. Last year, Matt had one start against Stoneham. He did fabulous in the game. He proved to everybody that he certainly can do it on the varsity level. It'll be good to see him tonight. His senior year, starting out at home. The first 3 games are at home. This will sort of loosen some of the tension before the season kicks in, and I think Matt will do a great job for Burlington this year.
Also new this year, you look down the field, new uniforms, new helmets, something that I think Sean worked on for part of the winter. They look absolutely phenomenal.
Certainly.
One thing Burlington has to do today, they're playing a very, very big Arlington team. They have to control the line of scrimmage.
Yep, certainly, and that's one of the keys to the games for Burlington. The defensive and offensive lines of the Red Devils are smaller, certainly, than Arlington. Arlington's kids are big, and they've always been tough and aggressive. It's a tough town, and Burlington has had a tough time in terms of dealing with the tougher and bigger lines.
As you can see out in the middle of the field, Burlington has won the toss. They have elected to receive. They'll defend the goal to our left. And now, ladies and gentlemen, as these teams go through their pregame ritual, I'd like you all to sit back and enjoy the sounds of Miss Christine Field. As to honor America, we have our national anthem. For football, our national anthem, the Salute America, and Stephen, in our pregame show, we talked to Sean, and I know there's some things that you have to watch out for Arlington. They lift this back Rafferty, 5'7", 155 pounds, and he's a scooter.
Certainly, Dan. Last week versus a very weak Medford team, Rafferty carried the ball 17 times for 103 yards. He was Arlington's workhorse. One of his 3 touchdowns was a 60-yard scamper. He's quick. He's not real big, but those types of backs are tough to bring down. Also, a little bit of experience for Arlington. They do have a game under their belt, Dan. And Burlington had the game scrimmage last week against Newton North, but it's not quite the same.
New feature this week, pregame, Steve's sleeper factor. What is it this week?
Well, the sleeper factor this week, Dan, is the fact that Burlington has not won a home game in nearly 2 years. So it'll be good to kick the year off with a good win at home and try to get that momentum flowing as the season progresses.
Beautiful night for football.
Here it is, Dan, our first weather report of the year. The temperature at kickoff tonight is 65 degrees. The humidity is 74%, which is good. It gives the quarterback a good passing grip on the ball. The winds are going to be out of the southwest at 10 to 15 miles an hour. And the forecast from the National Weather Service stands as partly cloudy. Lows down to 60 to 65. One of the things, too, Dan, I was out on the field before the game. The field is grass. Obviously, it's dry, but it's bumpy in the center. And that may cause a factor in terms of slipping or anything else. Right now, I'd like to kick it over to you, Dan, and our play-by-play.
Tim Flood will kick off for the Spy Ponders in the white uniforms with the maroon and silver trim. The Red Devils in their new red shirts, blue and white trim with the red pants, and the newly generated white helmets. Flood will put his foot in the ball at the 40. We're underway for the 1994 season. It comes down to LeBlanc at the 5, 10, 15, 20, middle of the field. Lots of room, ducks his head and gets out over the 25 to about the 26-yard line. There is a flag on the play, and that's where the Red Devils will take over on offense, 1st and 10.
Well, as you can remember, last year, Dan, Burlington had a few kickoffs returned for touchdowns. and that's due to the wall formation that they set up. They set up a double wall with the running back to trail in right behind and try to get a good block from that front line.
It'll be offsides against Burlington, the preliminary call by our officials this evening. Number 67 for Arlington, Dave Paloka, making the stop for the Spy Ponders. The offside penalty is going to be refused by Arlington, and then Burlington will have the ball in offense, 1st and 10 at their own 26. Matt Gordon will be the quarterback. He's wearing number 3 this evening. He'll have John Killian, 34, and Mark LeBlanc, 24 in the backfield. The wide receivers, Dan Richardson and Brian Stebbins, and the tight end, Sean McGowan, and we'll get to the rest of the offense in just a moment. They come out, ladies and gentlemen, in a single back formation. They're going to shift now, and Killian becomes the lone setback. Stebbins and LeBlanc to the right. Gordon calling signals on 1st down and 10. He turns, looking to throw the ball over to the far sideline, the near sideline, to Stebbins, number 8, the intended receiver, and that pass was behind him, incomplete.
Well, Mac got a good drop, set up, threw a good ball, just a little bit behind the receiver, and what happened there is a complementary pattern where they set out one guy, they sent the first guy deep, the second guy's there to clear out the zone, the ball was just a little bit behind him.
It'll be 2nd down and 10, the offensive line, Jason Brooks at right tackle, Mark Stride at right guard, Joe Costantino is over center with Peter Mohan at left guard, and the left tackle will be Todd Carroll. Here's a give to the deep back, LeBlanc, left side. His feet are moving, breaks a couple of tackles, dances outside, and gets out over the 40 to the 41-yard line before he's finally brought down by number 75, Jeff Hayes.
Well, just a great offensive play that time and an excellent second effort by Mark LeBlanc. Basically what happened is Burlington came out for the first time we've seen in a long time, Dan, in the wishbone formation. They just ran a lead power. LeBlanc kept his feet going, picked up a good 13 yards, 1st down for Burlington.
1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. Plays are going to be carried in tonight by number 9, Paul Giovanello. The Devils come out. They're going to shift. We have a wishbone formation. Mike D'Agostino is the up back. Here's a quick pitch right side to LeBlanc. He slips and falls and gets about to the 40-yard line, losing a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 11.
That's possibly a little bit of the bumpy field I was mentioning before the game, Dan. As I was walking out about 5:30 at the beginning, 5:30 tonight around game time, I noticed the fact that it's a little bit choppy. They've been working on that project to get that grass to grow a little bit longer, but at the same time, it may work to a disadvantage to the teams.
It'll be 2nd down 11. Stebbins comes to the left. Stephen Yavania, number 47, to the right. They shift again. McGowan goes to the left side. It's Giovanello to the left. Gordon calling signals, straight eye, give him the deep handoff to Killian. He bounces off one tackle and goes to the left, but he's brought down by a couple of those big Arlington boys led by number 63, Steve Kirshner, the outside linebacker.
Well, 63 got in there real quick and disrupted the momentum of the play. LeBlanc had to spin around and kind of got disoriented, and he was followed up by a by a series of good hits by the Arlington defenders.
You had a couple of
I'll get it, Dan. I'll get it.
No gain in the play. It'll be 3rd down and 11, the first 3rd down of the season for the Red Devils. Gordon now calling signals over center. He has Stebbins to the right and Yavanian to left. He goes straight back to pass. Looking, throwing down the field to Yavanian, and that just goes through his hands at the 48-yard line of Arlington. He would have had enough for a 1st down.
Well, the ball was there. Just a good effort to try to get it. What they're doing there, Dan, is they send the backside receiver on a deep post to kind of clear out the zone, and they send the strong side receiver on the inside on just a deep dig, and the ball was right there, just couldn't hang on.
So on 4th down, Sean McGowan will handle the punting duties for the Devils, and back deep for Arlington is number 17, Justin Lazuri. Sean McGee will handle the long snaps. McGowan has the ball. He puts his foot into it high and wobbling. It's going to be a short kick. Lazuri comes up to it, lets it roll, and the ball will roll inside the 20-yard line, where it's down by a host of Red Devils, and that's where the Arlington Spy Ponders will go on offense, 1st down and 10 at their own 17-yard line.
Excellent punt, and what Burlington uses in their punt coverage is called a Delaware punt. What happens is the ends release, and they are used as contained. The second guys in go directly down for the ball. Good punt coverage, and the ball took a great Burlington roll.
So it'll be 1st down and 10 for Arlington. Of course, the man we're going to look out for tonight is number 30 for the Spy Ponders. That's Dean Rafferty. He'll be the tailback. As I flip through my notes here, and the fullback will be number 34, Doug Hansen. We have a personal foul on the play against Burlington, and that will give Arlington the ball 15 yards closer to the opposing goal line at the 31-yard line, where they'll start 1st and 10.
Interesting. You don't like to start like that with a penalty. Arlington already 2 penalties for 20 yards.
Now it's an I formation behind the quarterback, number 12, Matt Lee. Rafferty is the D-back, Hanson the up-back. In motion comes number 88, Killeen. Here's the handoff inside, and it's quickly stopped there by number 11, Jay Capozzi, as Rafferty has the ball off right tackle. Gaining about 4 in the play. It'll be 2nd down and 6.
Just a strong side power that time. Good game. 2nd down and 5.
Of course, they're running behind Jeff Hayes, a 6'4", 260-pound senior captain tackle, and number 67, Dave Paluca, who's at 6'2", 220. Again, the I formation to the right is the strong side of the field. Lee calling signals. He goes and gives on a delay to Rafferty in the backfield. He stopped and dropped. Mark LeBlanc and Mark Stratty, 24 and 57, greeted him right as Lee handed the ball to him. And a big play for the defense.
Great play. Burlington, basically what they did that time is they sat back with their defensive backs in something called a 2-deep zone, where each one of the safeties will take one half of the field, and they brought 9 guys and just expected the rush and went right after it, made a great defensive play.
So it's 3rd down and 9. Now the first 3rd down of the game for the Spy Ponders. They come out with number 31. That's Sid Selmy to the left. I formation again behind Lee. Barking out the signals. Number 88, Killeen is to the right. The backs now split. Killeen looking it over. On 3rd and 9, goes back to pass. Throws over the middle to Selmy. And that ball is incomplete. And it's deflected off his hands as the ball was thrown a bit behind him.
Well, Arlington's offensive coordinator made a good call, because one of the major weaknesses to his 2-deep zone, Dan, obviously if you have one guy split in half, the middle is always going to be open. If that ball was there, that's a 1st down and a lot more.
So on 4th down, Arlington will be punting the ball away. Ryan Contreras, the sophomore, number 20, goes back along with number 24, Mark LeBlanc, to receive the kick of Tim Flood. Flood will put his foot in the ball about the 20-yard line. He misses it. The ball is fumbled. He picks it up. He's running for the sideline, and he'll get a 1st down. Wow. Boy, that kind of reminded me of Sean Landetta back in Soldiers Field in Chicago back in 1985. He actually tried to kick the football, and he missed. A couple of Burlington defenders had a shot at him, and you talk about a break. Arlington just picked one up there.
Well, you know what happened there, too, Dan, is both the Burlington ends came in, they committed themselves, and by the time they had already come in, the punter had the opportunity to step up like a quarterback does when he steps up in the pocket when it goes around him, and they had no other option but to go after him.
So Arlington goes back on offense. 1st down and 10 at their own 43. I formation again behind Lee. Safely to the left, and number 88, Killeen, to the right. Here's Lee back to pass, throws over to the middle to the tight end, number 83. That's Mark Palmachi. He's got a 1st down deep inside Burlington territory at about the 37-yard line.
Again, Dan, there's that weakness of the 2-deep zone. What Burlington's doing is they're going man coverage underneath. That means they're bringing their corners, and they're putting them about 2 or 3 yards away from the receiver. But also, that middle opens up because the safeties are playing 15 to 20 yards off the ball.
Stephen McGuire had noted we're playing 15-minute quarters. At least the clock reads 10:28 and running here in the first quarter of play as Lee brings them up. And quickly we have a timeout by the officials. I think they may be trying to straighten out this clock situation.
That's new to me.
And man, we're going to send you over next door to Steve. Don't say it too loud, but Stephen McGuire is going to check out the situation. We're trying to straighten out the whole situation here. Stephen is back from his investigative reporting.
The clock was pulled out of the plug.
So that seems
it reset itself.
Okay.
So we're resetting the clock.
So we're resetting the clock to 7 minutes.
Yeah, there we go.
In the first quarter of play. I thought we were going to play professional style football here.
We would have had to work overtime tonight.
Don't go saying that far.
Oh, I know.
Overtime rate's the same as regular time rate for us.
that wind's starting to pick up a little bit, Dan. Hopefully that won't be a factor as the game progresses.
I'd like to mention we are in our new press box, and many people have to be thanked for it. Bill Katuba has handed me a list. I'm not going to forget anybody, but it's an absolutely beautiful facility to broadcast a football game from. It's a very professional type environment, and we're very appreciative. We'll give you the list as we go along this evening. Wide to the right is Sethelmi, and to the left is Morris, number 23. The backs are split behind Lee. On first down, the quick pitch to Rafferty, right side, nowhere. Number 11, Jay Capozzi, up from his cornerback position to make the stop, and a lot of happy people over there in the Red Devil defense.
Well, it's good to see some emotion out of the Burlington players. That was a great defensive play. All Capozzi did, he took his read steps, came up wide, fought off that fullback's block, and made a great play to the outside.
On defense, we will see Mark LeBlanc and Brian Segul at the end. Sean McGowan, Jason Brooks, and Mark Stratty are the tackles. We'll get to the rest of the defense after this play. Second down and 12 as Rafferty lost 2 in the play. I formation behind Lee. Lee now calling things over, looking over the defense. In motion comes Morris, left to right. Here's the give to Rafferty inside, ducks inside a hole, and gets out over the 35 down to the 34-yard line, gaining back the 2 yards that he lost, and picking up a couple of more, where it will be third down and about 7.
A little bit of a misdirection there, Dan. They sent the split end into motion coming across the field. They ran the play back the other way to the weak side. You're going to see that normally. A lot of teams will do that. Arlington in the past has done it, and they're starting to work on a little bit of that counter off tackle play.
Jay Capozzi making the tackle for the Red Devils, number 11. A lot of tackles so far for Jay Capozzi. 3 or 4 times we mentioned his name. Arlington will call timeout here.
One of the things I think it's important that I mentioned to you, Dan, also, the fact that Burlington's game scrimmage last weekend against Newton North, score-wise, they ended up losing 29-20, but the defensive backfield was certainly found susceptible. And I think that's something that the Arlington offensive coaches have seen, and a little bit here, the 2-deep zone is such a tough defense to play when you have a kid that can throw the ball over the middle. A lot of the time, the linebackers are supposed to, they'll turn, they'll drop at 45 degrees with their heads on a swivel to find out what's going on. But they're trained and taught to only drop back so far. You're always going to find a weakness, and it's going to be that deep middle. Hopefully Burlington will have to adjust to that.
Yeah, I was hoping we would go this entire contest without talking about that scrimmage last week. I don't think it was one of the things that this young group of athletes from Burlington wants to remember.
No, certainly not.
Although they did not play that badly. There were some letdowns during that scrimmage, and I know they had a very, very tough week of practice, being reminded of those letdowns during the past week. Arlington is out now, third down and about 8. We're going to move that ball back a little bit. High formation again. Number 23, Morris, is the split out to the left. Double tight end situation in the game. The backs now split, Rafferty and Morris. Lee calling signals. On third down, turns and gives to Hanson, the big fullback, and he dives down inside the 32 to about the 31-yard line. Picking up a 4, it'll be fourth down and a long 3. Making the stop with number 35, Segul. Robert Segul. We're going to get those guys messed up all year, I'm sure. And to the Segul family, we apologize ahead of time. We call Brian Bobby and Bobby Brian. 89 is Brian and 35 is Bobby, and I'll see if I can remember that for the rest of the season.
Okay. Well, they're going to go for it here, Dan.
Fourth down and a long 3, a very long 3 for Arlington. Out to the left comes number 88, Colleen. To the right is Morris. It's an I formation. Hanson behind the up back. Rafferty the deep back. Leach calling signals, calling an audible at the line of scrimmage. Fourth down and 3. Here's Lee back to pass over the middle, and it's caught, and it'll be brought down to the 18-yard line, but there is a flag on the play.
Well, you know what, Dan? I think the Arlington receiver was too far on the line. Yep, illegal procedure. He moved.
A quick look into number 23, Morris, will be brought back on the illegal procedure penalty.
Thing is, though, that's got to be covered. As the game progresses, that play has got to be covered.
Well, Mark LeBlanc almost had a shot. Now, he was covering the tight end, and Mark LeBlanc almost got a hand on that ball and knocked it down. So they're going to move the ball back 5 yards. It'll be fourth down and about 8 for the Spy Ponders. The ball comes outside to the Burlington 36-yard line. And on 4th and 9, it looks like Arlington will go for it. Lashley comes to the left, and Lee once again takes a timeout. With 4 minutes and 8 seconds left here in the first half, Arlington takes their second timeout of this drive. Once again, Stephen, before I get on a roll here, I'd like to bring up all the people that Bill Katruba wanted me to mention. If you hear Greg Gailey in the background, we're both talking about the same thing at the same time. Bill Katruba, the Director of Building and Grounds here at Burlington, would like to thank these important people who are responsible for the dedication, the bringing the people together and making this new press box the greatest facility here in the Middlesex Football League. If you're in town, you're going to see the big red building as you drive by Varsity Field. You'll see Burlington's Varsity Field on it, and it's an absolutely professional press box, and a pleasure to be working in it. I'd like to thank Pete Peters, he's the Burlington's town engineer, Doug Gillingham of the Recreation Department, Lou Gallant of Shawshene Technical School, who did a lot of the labor for us with their classroom people, Dick Linder of Burlington Cable Access Television, and we cannot say enough about Dick. He has been the technical guru behind all this. He's an absolute mastermind when it comes to setting things up for you people in Burlington. And I want to say more, but it's 4th down and 9. I think even Dick would let us go to the play.
We're going for it here, Dan. Going to have to put it up.
4th and 9. Lee has a split backfield. Here comes Morris in motion right to left. He goes back to pass, rolling to his left, looking for help. Throwing over the middle is complete to Seth Thelmy, and he looks to have a first down inside the 25 at the 22-yard line.
Excellent play that time. Lee, basically what he did is he sprinted out to his left. He had his fullback as a lead blocker. What happened was the backside tight end came across, moved himself in front of the linebackers, turned up, and Lee just threw a great ball. He squared his shoulders technique-wise. This kid throws the ball very well. Put it right in there, first down Arlington.
The report on Lee is he's very smart. He makes very good decisions, and so far they have today. 1st and 10 at the 22. I formation now behind Lee. Morris to the left, St. Thelmy to the right. Double tight end is on the right side. That's Palmacci. I formation. Here's a give to Rafferty, right side. Kind of dodged through the hole, and he gets down to the 20 to about the 19-yard line, gaining only about 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
Big thing there, though, Dan. He had a huge hole, and he just cut it back inside. If he had taken that a little further outside, he would have been in the end zone.
That's a matter of opinion. John Killian, number 34, makes the stop for the Red Devils. That hole closed awfully quick, and he only gained 3 yards. 2nd down and 7. Morris goes to the right. Tight end is number 88, John Killian, left side. Also number 83, Mark Palmacy, I formation. Hanson in front of Rafferty. Now the backs are split. Mark Lee calling signals. Lee turns and gives to Hanson, the big fullback. He stood up and met by number 44, Mike D'Agostino, gaining about 1 yard. It'll be 3rd down and about 6.
D'Agostino made a great play that time. He just filled in from his inside linebacker position, and you could hear the pop from up here, Dan.
Especially when you're smacking it right in front of your microphone. It'll be 3rd down and 5. Arlington obviously thinking that they're in 2-down territory. Not too many people are going to hit Dag and push him backwards.
True. Very true.
They come out of the huddle. To the right goes Morris. To the left comes St. Thelmy. Relax, Steve. The press box will be finished next week. I formation again. Rafferty is the deep back. Hanson the up back. Here's Lee now on 3rd down and 5. Going straight back to pass. Looking, throwing over the middle to number 23, Morris. And he drops the ball. And lucky for the Red Devils he did, because he was wide open at the 10-yard line.
Again, one of those weaknesses. He curled inside. And what happened is that the safeties can only come up so fast. And they did come up. They closed well to the ball. But by the time the ball was there, that was certainly would have been a reception close to the first down.
So on 4th down, Tim Flood comes out, and it appears he's going to try a field goal of 35 or 36 yards. And you can remember a couple of years ago, Arlington had a very, very good kicker named Tim Hirsch. But Flood's going to line this ball up. I think he's a little bit close. Normally he goes 7 yards back. He's about 6.5 yards back. He is at the 25-yard line. It'll be a 35-yard attempt. Matt Lee will be the holder.
Burlington has to watch the long count here, Dan.
Here's the snap. Ball's down. Flood's kick is up. It's long enough, and it is no good. It's wide to the right, and Burlington will take over at their own 20-yard line, first down and 10. Plenty of foot on that ball, Steve, just a little bit wide to the right.
Yeah, certainly. That's something to look for, Dan, as the game progresses. If it gets tight, we may have to look for Arlington's big kicker.
I'll tell you what, he had a lot of foot in that. That thing was high and had plenty of leg on it.
Oh, it looked good from here. Well, everything looks good from here.
Once again, I want to get back to that list as Matt Gordon comes on the field with the Red Devil offense. Dick Linder did a great job wiring this thing, and if you want to really come over and see what it looks like, come on up and say hello. Pat O'Brien and Dennis Doherty, the school carpenters, a great job. Peter McInespy, the electrician. Ross McLeod and Son, local carpenters. And, of course, the members of the Burlington Pop Water Association and BCAT. On first down, it looks like LeBlanc running people over. And if LeBlanc had the ball, he is out at the 28-yard line, gaining 8, second down and 2. John Killian got absolutely attacked on that play because he was the up back. He went to the left, and 5 Arlington players tackled him, and LeBlanc just ran over the other 6 to get out to the 28.
Well, you know what's great about the wishbone, Dan, is that it opens things up so much. You can bring in your 4-receiver package, but at the same time, when you set in the bone for a while, that kind of gets the team set for the run.
Yavanian goes to left, tight end McGowan right side. Wishbone again behind Gordon. Gordon turns, hands to D'Agostino. D'Agostino runs over a few bodies and gets out over the 30, close to a first down at the 31-yard line. They got it. First down for the Devils, the inaugural first down of the season. First down might be a little bit redundant. Ball rests on the 31-yard line. Gordon comes over to the sideline and gets his play from Coach Sean McGuire in his second season. Finished 6-4 last year as the Red Devils mentor in his first season, and much looking forward to the 94 season. Offset formation, now they shift. Giovanello goes to the left as a tight end. McGowan now is a wide receiver flanked out here. Here's the quick pitch to LeBlanc, right side, gets a block from Brooks, breaks 1 tackle, and picks up about 3 yards to the 34, where he's brought down there by number 67, Dave Paloka, and number 88, John Killeen.
Well, Mark, again, just showing his athleticism. He really didn't have much there. He turned that into a 3-yard gain. He could have been stopped behind the line. He made a nice cut, made the corner come out a little bit too far, picked up 3 yards. Good run, good athleticism by Mark LeBlanc.
Picking up 3, it's a second down and 7. Once again, the offensive line has Jason Brooks and Todd Carroll at the tackles, Strati and Peter Mohan at the guards, and Joe Costantino at the center. And quickly, the officials step in. The clock shows 0-0, and that will end the first quarter of play here at Varsity Field. And if you're the Burlington Red Devils, you've kind of dodged the bullet a little bit, Steve, and their defense has given up a couple of big plays, but when it counted most, they were able to stop Arlington deep inside the territory and get a break when the field goal sailed wide to the right.
Yeah, most certainly. With some of the defensive changes that are going to need to be made here for Burlington, is they're going to have to start to adjust to that pattern running to the inside. Some of the adjustments they can make to that, they can go to a straight man-up coverage. They can go to a 3-deep zone and move those safeties in a little bit. As I was mentioning, and again, I know we don't want to talk about it too much, but one of the big things Burlington is trying to avoid is letting up the big, deep pass. One of the rules that a lot of defensive back coaches preach is never deeper than the deepest, meaning that your defensive back is never going to be in front of the receiver. That receiver should never be deeper than you. And I think that's one of the things Burlington is obviously trying to work on due to the fact that their safeties are lining up in that 2-deep zone 20 yards off the ball.
One thing we talked about beforehand, we missed his injury report. Brian Segura has an injured shoulder. He has played a play. We're going to see how long that he can go. But I've noticed that Dan Richardson, who's wearing number 6, has been hobbling down the sideline with what looked like a pulled calf muscle, and he's been limping. And he was going to be a big part of that passing attack.
Yeah, certainly. And it would be good to see him get back in for Burlington. But he's trying to shake that off right now. He's stretching it out as we speak. So hopefully we'll see him back in the game.
You know, the other thing we haven't talked a whole lot about with the wishbone is that means they can put big Mike D'Agostino up in the front and be the lead blocker. And at 5'11", 200. If we had some technical difficulties, they have been resolved. Red Devils send out the 3 receivers and 3 amigos. LeBlanc, Yavanian, and McGowan to the left on second down and Killian alone set back. Here's the draw to Killian. Finds some room, runs over 1 tackler, and gets out to the 39-yard line. Picking up about 5 on the play. It'll be third down and 3, making the tackle for the Spy Ponders. number 57, Bill Topolopoulos.
Well, Burlington certainly, that's nothing new to their offensive attack. They'll try to set out. Sometimes they'll even put 2 receivers on each side, creating a 4-receiver set where they run that draw. The draw has always been an integral part of the Burlington offense, and again, we saw it right there.
Third down and about 2. The Red Devils come out. They're going to shift into a strong formation. Wishbone back into effect. The Arlington defense running all over the place. On third down and 2, Gordon turns, and he gives to number 24, Mark LeBlanc, over the 40, 45-yard line. Another first down for the Red Devils. He was stopped there by number 75, Big Jeff Hayes, who kind of corralled him with the 46 and dragged him back, but not after LeBlanc gets another Red Devil first down.
Well, that certainly is a solid play. The Wishbone is designed as such where you can send out 2 blockers to lead for you. What Burlington we're going to have to look for here, Dan, is they'll send those 2 blockers one way, but run the ball carry another way. Just a little misdirection to keep the linebackers on their toes.
First and 10, the ball rests just outside the 45-yard line. Single setback is Dagger Steel. They'll shift now. They'll go back to the Wishbone. Yavanian is a spread out to the left. Tight end McGowan on the right side. On first and 10, here's the deep handoff to Killian, right side, and he's dragged down there by the ankle. Number 45 at the bottom of the pile for the Spy Ponders is Jim Spencer, who kind of grabbed Killian by the ankle and stopped it after a gain of about 2. It'll be second down and 8.
Just the same play, run back the other way. And I'll tell you, John Killian, after rushing for over 900 yards last year, that's always one of the big things you tend to see in high school football, that a player has a great junior year, and they don't necessarily have a bad senior year, but it's the fact that the rest of the teams that they're playing are aware that this person's good, we need to stop them. And certainly that's one of the factors that's coming into play tonight.
Second down and make it 9. The Red Devils shift. They have their 4-barrel offense in the game. McGowan, Yavanian, LeBlanc to the left, back to pass. Gordon, his second pass of the game, throwing over the middle to McGowan. An absolute bullet, and the big tight end holds on at the Arlington 40-yard line, and a first down for the Red Devils.
Absolutely perfect precision passing by Matt Gordon. He took a deep 7-step drop. One of the advantages to that play is the other 2 receivers on the outside cleared out the zone. McGowan did the dig over the middle, and he just threw a bullet right in there. Couldn't have put it anywhere else. Great play.
First down and 10 at the Arlington 40-yard line. The Red Devil crowd getting a little bit excited on that one. The back split now. They're in that strong left formation. Single setback is Segul, number 35. Here comes Segul off his shoulder pad, a fumble, and it's recovered by the Spy Ponders, number 83, Mark Talmachi. And Arlington takes over, first down and 10.
Well, I'll tell you what happened there. The big thing that a quarterback has to do when they go to make that pitch is I know in this offense is that they're taught to take a second step to make sure they're following through with the pitch. The pitch was a little bit behind him. The ball popped up on his shoulder pad, and it's tough. And that ball, again, a little bit moist, and he just got to hang on to the football.
So Arlington takes back over in their own 45, good field position, with 7 minutes and 30 seconds left here in the second quarter of play.
There's that 3 deep we were talking about then.
Devils now in a 5-3. Capozzi comes up. Again, the backs are split behind Lee on first down and 10 at the 45. He gives to Hanson left side, and Hanson kind of like bowls over a couple people, landed on his head as he made the 49-yard line, gaining 3. It'll be second down and 7.
Got a gracious spot also, Dan.
Well, actually, no, that's where his head hit. Mike D'Agostino, 44, got a hand of Hanson's ankle and tripped him up. Clock is running. We've reached the 7-minute mark. Here in the second quarter of play. Second down and 7. Here's the give by Rafferty. Deep back, lots of room. Bounces off a couple of people. And he's finally brought down by number 47. Stephen Yavanian, number 9. All Giovanello, but not after he gets a first down inside Burlington territory at the 42-yard line.
There's a little bit of that size factor again, Dan, that we were talking about. Their offensive line is just much bigger. And when you go off tackle as many times as they have, that's going to start to wear down your opponent.
Big offensive line going 260, 220, 170, 230, 180 across the front for the Spy Ponders. I formation now behind Lee. Morris is out to the right, double tight end. Here's back to pass, goes Lee. Looking, in trouble, throws, and it's incomplete as he just got away from it. Brian Segul and number 73, that's John Costantino, putting the pressure on Lee.
Excellent athleticism by Lee to get that ball off. If he doesn't get that ball off, that's a loss of 7 to make it second down and 17. He just did a nice job getting rid of the play. Excellent pressure by the Burlington passing game. Excuse me, let's try that again. Excellent pressure by the Burlington defenders. One of the things I was trying to say is that you'll never see Arlington, or you'll very rarely see them just drop back into a straight pocket. You're always going to have the quarterback rolling to one side with a lead blocker with that option to run.
Second down and 10. To the right comes St. Thelmy. To the left is Morris. Tight end is Palmacci. He's on the left side. I formation again behind Lee. Lee turns and gives to Rafferty. Rafferty's going nowhere. 73, John Costantino met him just as Lee handled the ball out. And I think the happiest guy in the field is his brother Joe.
Well, you know what? The best thing about that play is that was a very disciplined play. What the linemen are taught to do is to read that first step of the fullback. The fullback took to that one side, and he came right across, took his play side step, and made a great defensive play.
Third down and 11. Rafferty lost one on the play. John Costantino, the brother of the swamp monster, Joe Costantino. And I wonder if...
and we don't mean that derogatorily.
Absolutely not. That's a... Arlington takes a timeout once again. Of course, if you saw our Red Devil preview show earlier this week, you would have seen some of the new hairdos that are being worn by some of the Burlington seniors. Those are courtesy of John the Barber Killian, as he will be known around town.
Well, that's always fun, though, Dan.
Of course.
Certainly.
They're kind of looking like one of the assistant coaches down there anyway.
Well, one of the things I wanted to make sure we mentioned tonight, Dan, is what a great turnout for the opening game.
Well, I'll tell you what, there are 3 people in attendance here that I know. My wife Carol's here, along with my son Mark, along with Caitlin Dignan and Tracy Tamaro. They made the trek down from South Burlington to join the game today, and I hope they're enjoying it. When they see it at home, I just want to say hello to Mark and Patrick. Patrick Wells, of course, being a little bit anxious and rambunctious. A 1-year-old in this crowd, a little bit stretching the imagination, but I'm sure he'll be here next year for some of the Red Devil games.
Well, if you notice too, Dan, and this is also just one of the things that makes the program and the big change is that the Burlington cheerleaders also have new uniforms this year to match the coaching staff and the football team. So
absolutely. We're going to have to talk about getting some of those fine jerseys that the coaching staff wearing up here in the press box.
This is true.
This is opening day, and Steve and I are both decked out in our finely pressed white shirts, but more importantly, it's third down and 11 on the field. Matt Lee has him up, St. Thelmy is to the left, Morris to the right, I formation, back to pass goes Lee, 2 backs are in, looking, throwing all over the middle, and it's complete to St. Thelmy at the 30-yard line. He made a great grab, taking it just off the turf, and it's a first down.
Well, what happened there, basically Burlington was in the 3 deep. Quarterback just set up. Again, it's funny, I just mentioned it, but they did. They dropped straight back. There was no pressure on the passer. Set up, the quarterback threw a good ball. Receiver ran a deep out, had the first down.
5:20 left first period. Clock's running. One thing I want to say, Steve, go ahead. You were first.
I was just going to say, great job by the receiver to realize where the first down mark was.
The other thing is they're only sending 2 receivers out, 3 receivers out, tight end and 2 wideouts, because both backs stayed in the pass block on that play. I formation again. Here's Rafferty in the deep handoff. Scoots in the hole, jumps over a couple of blockers, and finally Jay Capozzi takes him down, but it looks supposed to be another Arlington first down. Come on, wait! He gained 9 in the play, Rafferty did. It'll be second down and 1.
Burlington's trying to shuffle people in and out here, Dan, in terms of getting the linemen a little bit of a water break or some sort of break. Come on! Big kids from Arlington are just plugging away. Hayes is a big kid.
260 pounds at 6'4". Again, they come out in the eye. Now the backs are split. Hanson and number 30, Rafferty. Full house. Here's the give to Hanson, left side. Bouncing over a couple of tackles. Finally, D'Agostino has him, and he brings a whole bunch of Red Devil tackles inside the 15-yard line. Will be another Arlington first down. On the bottom of the pile, 11 Capozzi, 44 D'Agostino, but Hanson picks up the first down.
Good hang tackling, but when it's 15 yards downfield, it doesn't do too much. Burlington's need to start to make a little bit more penetration on their defensive line.
First and 10 for the Spy Partners. They started this drive at their own 45-yard line, and a big 3rd and 11 completion to St. Thelmy has kept it alive. I formation now behind Lee. To the right is St. Thelmy, double tight end formation. Colleen and Palmacci, I formation again for Arlington. Back to pass goes Lee. In the throwing to the corner of the end zone. And a flag on the play as Contreras get tangled up with St. Thelmy, and the flag is thrown. It'll be an Arlington first down at the 1-yard line.
Well, I'll tell you what happened is defensive back just went after the ball, and when he was going after the ball, he climbed up the back and went over the receiver.
I don't think that was a bad play, and we're going to watch that back next week's on the film. But I think you understand when they watch this play back. The Contreras went for the ball, and their feet just got tangled up. Yeah. I mean, I don't know that's what didn't happen.
Oh, that hurt.
Well, it's first and goal, the 2 for the Spy Ponders, and the only thing that's bad about this press box is we're a little bit blind to the right side, so we're on our feet. 3 backs in the backfield, power I formation for Arlington. Lee calling signals. On first and goal, he gives to Rafferty, who darts inside and meets Mike D'Agostino. He maybe gains a half of yard. It'll be 2nd down and goal.
Great job by that time by D'Agostino. He just came flying in, filled real hard into the hole, stopped them, no gain.
2nd down and goal. The ball rests at the 2-yard line. No gain on the play. Arlington comes out again. I formation this time. Double tight end. Number 45. Jim Spencer in the game is a blocking back to power I formation behind Lee. On 2nd down and goal. Lee turns and gives to Rafferty, who dances inside again. The Red Devil defense is there. Number 44, Mike D'Agostino, his 2nd consecutive stop on the goal line.
Well, the best thing about that play by Mike D'Agostino is that he was very smart. He's a smart defensive football player. He came out in that power eye strength to the right side. If you notice, they ran it back to the left. D'Agostino was right there to fill. Again, head-to-head, Mike D'Agostino is not going to get beaten by too many people.
And Arlington takes his timeout.
They have 2 remaining.
Stats and everything. I want to finish this. People who were responsible for the press box. I said I can't say enough good things about Dick Linder, who technically put this whole thing together for BCAT. BCAT has the right side, the left side of the press box. We're looking from the field, and it's just a great facility to do a football game from. Pat O'Brien and Dennis Doherty. Pat O'Brien and Dennis Doherty of the School Carpenters, Peter McInespy, the school electrician, Ross McLeod and Sons, the local carpenters. Of course, members of Burlington Pop Warner and BCAT were financially involved with helping this project do it together. And one person we'd like to make, it's called AM Pro Signs. I believe they're out of Stoughton, Mass. They donated the signs that you will see as you drive by this facility that say Burlington Varsity Field. And we'd like to thank them for their very generous donation and ask you that if you have any sign needs in the future, you check out AM Pro Signs. I believe they're in Stoughton.
Yes, they are in Stoughton.
I'm going to roll tonight, I'll tell you. So it's going to be 3rd down and goal at the 2-yard line. Arlington's had some problems here inside the goal line.
Yeah, certainly. I would expect one of 2 things to happen here, Dan. And they've always been very conservative, and they'll do one of 2 things. They'll come out in that power eye, they'll run misdirection, or they'll run to the strength, or second option is they'll put that quick pop to the tight end.
We are having trouble down the field with our camera that does the on-the-field shots. We're doing a great job with 2 cameras, though, folks. And we'll let you know if at any time we can correct that technical difficulty. Power eye formation. Here's Lee now. Rolls out, looking, throws to the corner of the end zone. Wide open is Colleen for a touchdown.
Well, there it is, Dan. There's one of the 2 things we mentioned. Basically what happened is that near side tight end, great play fake, everybody bit onto it, and he was just sitting there by himself. Lee threw a good ball, just caught his receiver sitting right down on his knees. Nice catch, nice play, very well executed, touchdown Arlington.
That's a play you see in a lot of football. You know, if you're watching college football on the weekends, you're watching the pros, after they've had a couple of cracks to the goal line, they like to run that play where they throw that tight end out into the flat.
Certainly.
So Arlington's on top 6-0. Tim Flood, number 8, is on for the extra point out of Matt Leach hold. He certainly has the leg for it, as he showed on his missed field goal attempt earlier. Here's the snap, the ball is down, the kick is up, and it splits the upright. So, as the teams come upfield with 2 minutes and 56 seconds left here in the second half of play, the score, the Arlington Spy Ponders 7 and the Burlington Red Devils 0.
Offensively, what Burlington needs to start to do right now, one, they have to hang on to the football. Two, they have to open up a little bit. Now, Burlington certainly, one of the things I know that they do is they practice a 2-minute drill with 2:26 remaining in the half. It's something that we're probably going to see. They have a no-huddle offense package, which is certainly a very strong part of this Burlington offense. They can throw the ball. Matt Gordon, as we mentioned before, certainly a good quarterback. It'll be interesting to see the approach that they take. I think they're going to tend to move away from the wishbone right here. They get a good kickoff return, get a little bit of momentum. Touchdown before the half of Burlington, I believe, is necessary to help them out.
Especially because coming into the second half, they will have to kick off to Arlington, provided Arlington elects to receive. One thing Burlington did though in their last drive, they started to move the ball, started to have some problems, some success until the fumble. And now Burlington will come out and receive the ball. Now Flood will be kicking into a wind of about 10 miles per hour. It's in his face now. Back deep for the Red Devils is 35, Bobby Segul, and number 24, Mark LeBlanc. Tim Flood will be handling the kickoff duties. He'll be going from his left, from our left to right, as you see it on the TV monitor tonight. Flood will put his foot in the ball, kicks it high, and it's coming down to Segul. He'll handle it at about the 10-yard line. Up to 15, 20, 25, lots of room, and he's tackled as he gets out over the 25 to the 26-yard line. He's hit there by number 76. That's Jonathan Cooper.
Good field position. They need a little bit of momentum here. They need to start to pick it up. One of the things I think you'll notice here, Dan, they're going to start to split people out and move them a little bit. They're going to start to run a lot of complementary pass patterns, which open up a lot of people's zones.
It'll be first down and 10. Devils come out. They'll be in that wishbone formation. They shift down to a strong left formation. Single setback is Killian. Yemenian spread out to the left. On first down, the quick pitch to Killian, left side. He's got some room and some blockers, but he's going to be brought down from behind by number 75, Jeff Hayes. And if there's any doubt about a 260-pounder who can run, Mr. Hayes just proved himself right there.
Well, he's a good athlete, and I know they've been talking a lot about him. He's a big kid, but at the same time, he's very athletic. And his athleticism showed there by being able to chase after Killian and drag him down from behind.
Timeout on the field. It should indicate our 2-minute warning on the field. With 2 minutes left here in the first half of play at 7-0. Burlington still has 5 timeouts remaining, I believe, Stephen.
Well, you know what? One of the